And then the new pastor gonna be like,
have you ever been swallowed? Real Breaking Bad, like level shit that's going on in our country.
It is.
I can't say that I've thought these two individuals were like the next Harriet Tubman and you know what I'm saying, like Malcolm
Dragged
X.
it.
You know what I mean? I never felt like
Dragged
these two
it.
individuals were that. Of life is the baby. He is trying.
Oh yeah, he's like, no.
He put his nephew
clawing for relevancy. This podcast is sponsored by Graffiti Tax Services. For all your tax preparation needs, you can go to graffititax.com. We're going to put the link right here. It should be somewhere. And yeah, you can head to them for during tax season. And if you have any financial or tax preparation questions, head to Graffiti Tax Services. They're our new sponsor. Thank you to Graffiti Tax Preparation Services. That's it.
Miss Farrah, Miss Reality.
Hello, hello, hello.
You good?
Yes, I'm wonderful.
That's good, man. I'm happy to hear it. We're recording at a different time than we normally do, a different day.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a little bit, we got to get into the groove a little bit,
It's a little different.
Yeah, so we got to get everything back right. But you know how we like to start with the F and F jams. But it's a good song. So
It is.
And I'm not even the biggest 21 fan. So, all right. You're now listening to Talk F&F TV. I'm your host, Rhetoric. I'm with my lovely, amazing, and wonderful co-host, Miss Reality. And we back here to give y'all some of the most important things, some of the most not important things, trivial matters, non-consequential matters, some of the serious matters.
Some of them.
But we also going to give you a good time. So, all right, now let's get into this, man. I feel bad that we have to do this. I do. Because I can't say that I've thought these two individuals were like the next Harriet Tubman and you know what I'm saying, like Malcolm
Dragged
X.
it.
You know what I mean? I never felt like
Dragged
these two
it.
individuals were that, but just to see some of their behavior as of lately, it's just disappointing. So the people in question, Consciously, which is that was always a wild name to me. Consciously was wild. And then she has a few different names, but on Twitter or X, she is Keating6. We'll be referring to her as Christine. I believe that's what her name is.
Yeah.
But let's just kind of give a synopsis of what's going on here. So we talked about this a few months ago on the show about the brick lady, Ro.
Mm-hmm.
That's her name, right?
Yeah.
Ro reports on Instagram. And, just give you a synopsis of the story. She said that she was attacked with a brick by a random man. She then went to the internet for assistance and help. She was given mixed responses, a lot of women support, a lot of men saying she was lying and or, got what she deserved. I saw some of that, people saying that. That was probably some of the worst of it.
Because of former content that she's done
Yeah.
on social media.
Yeah, so then that's where it happens, so she goes out, they start a GoFundMe is started for her to help her with her medical expenses and whatnot, and that's when pretty much the wildfire comes out. You got Daphne going crazy, queen of accountability, been calling up the HDPD on her since this shit happened. No, for real. Like, if you look at the article that came out, it notes queen of accountability in there, and then on her Twitter page, she's been going, oh, nah, that was me. Yeah, I did it. Telling everybody.
That's crazy.
So more information came out, and the authorities said that there was like a video where it showed that she was in the car with with multiple people.
Mm-hmm.
She gets out of a car. She has an altercation with the guy, hits him, in which they know that she hit him first. He responds by hitting her with a plastic water bottle. So that was a big thing that was in question. Was it a brick? Was it a water bottle? What kind of water bottle was it?
Was it a Stanley Cup?
Yeah, was it a was it a Yeti?
Yeah, because if it was, then.
But what it sounds like, it said it was a plastic cup he hit her with,
Mm-hmm.
and the report notes it as mutual combat.
So they were fighting with each other.
Yeah, there was a dispute between each other. She tried to make it seem like she didn't know who this individual was that attacked her.
Mm-hmm.
She also tried to make it seem like she was assaulted by a brick and no one did anything.
So the gentleman was in the car with her that assaulted her?
What it seems like, they were in the car together.
Ooh.
Like this could have happened like this. Let's just say,
Well, what happened to all the people that were in the car with her? Why have they not said anything?
maybe they know she on bullshit. Maybe
If there's multiple people in the car with you and they watch you get assaulted.
Again, that goes into question. What could have been going on? So we can get into theory time before we kick some backs in. My theory may be potentially that this was somebody that she was seeing. Maybe a relationship that wasn't that serious in one party's eyes.
But then why come out and say that it was a stranger?
Because you're trying to cap. You're trying to finesse.
That's just, it's all too messy for me at this point.
If you say it's a stranger, you feed into the idea and the victimization like men are just coming out of nowhere to attack women.
Mm-hmm.
Rather than, no, I was just in a situation that I initiated the violence and someone responded with violence to me.
Yeah, most of the times, like, it's not a random person attacking you, but
I mean, most any kind of attacks is most times people that you know.
Yeah.
It's rarely ever going to be just a random assault like that. But that was like another thing where people were filling up like attack, especially as black men, where it's like, you trying to paint us as these wild, vicious people when, no, this was, if anything, this was an attack that was happened because there was conflict.
And then also the men who were bystanders, and she made them seem like they just watched her get assaulted too. Like nobody, all of the black men in this situation on both sides just looked terrible.
And that was like kind of
initially.
And that was kind of one of the big things that came from that was like, we were getting strays because this woman was making up a story that just made us look bad, and it fed into most women's fears.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I was
protected.
Yeah, and that's what it went in.
Being randomly attacked.
And then what are you gonna do? You're gonna give your money to somebody who you feel is going through something you're feeling like.
Mm-hmm.
But let's see, where was I getting at to? Dang, I forgot. I was getting somewhere.
So, Consciously and Keating Sith, they posted something about her.
Yeah, well, so they came up to defend her. Consciously, he even did like a whole little story. I don't want to go into that one. That was a little because even in his video where he was trying to like tell people, oh, she wasn't lying, he even showed in there where it said it was mutual combat. She initiated first, which he didn't. Well, he ignored that part too about her initiating the violence, and just went on this whole, I'm gonna shit on the black men who are not on her side. Like that was like where he was aiming at, where it was like, no, like we got more information. You tried your superhero cape. It's time to take it off and give it a knee. Like even if you want to address the fact that she was attacked by somebody else, like the fact that she lied and at no point corrected the story, even if you could say after the attack she didn't know what was going on, she was delirious, and made a story, she never clarified it. You never clarified anything. She never went back and clarified anything. She just let it go. And I don't think she ever touched the GoFundMe money, did she? No,
it was frozen before she even got to her goal.
Okay. So, and
she never touched that money.
And Consciously's kind of attempts to try to keep himself with some type of validity, he now brings in Keating's six, or Xtina.
Yeah.
So he brings in Xtina. She's already been on Shawty's side the whole time, trying to say like, oh, she's not lying. She printed out hospital records, all that other stuff, where she's been on her side the whole time. And even when more information has come out, she's refused to, admit
just continue caping.
Yeah, and that's what, and then she creates this video, which again, her content is hilarious, but let's just play this video.
You know the thought that plagues my mind every single day. Who would be the slaves that had the Red Pill podcast? You're like, why did Harriet need a gun? What were they saying to her? You know what? I'm about to say something real scientific. Coonery is a genetic mutation that is passed down to the genes, to the bloodline. You inherit that because of Caucasian caucasity is passed down. Colored coonery has got to be. No, because imagine picking the same bushel of cotton right as a nigga, and he telling you what you need to do as a wife, what meal you need to make. That is a man with a podcast and no job. That is his great uncle. The black overseers who was whipping the slaves. Black cops. I don't think y'all are hearing me for real. They bullied me because I was light skin brigade. Who that sound like? You just mad I'm in the house. That's the same family line. They had Insta back in the day. They would have accounts talking about at mulatto mulatto. Black people who own black slaves. Black capitalists. Y'all would have been buying them 100% cotton t-shirts talking about they black owned. Or us by us on the tag. No, they were telling Harriet she was in her masculine energy. She was trying to take them to freedom, and I know they were like, you and your masculinity. Who were the coons back in the day, right? What were their stories? Who is in their bloodline? Now, because let's get into the etymology. Y'all see what I see? Letters. You know what else got
coon
letters?
written on a
periodic table of elements. Chemistry. Now, the body, brothers and sisters, is made out of 6 elements on that periodic table. Carbon, oxygen, nitrogen, C-O-N. Now, I know you're talking about this spells con. This ain't coon. Oh, brothers and sisters. What is the chemistry equation of oxygen? O2. C-O-O-N. 2 O's, coon. You know the thought that plays.
She killed me just now. That was highly entertaining.
And like I said, I don't really have an issue with a lot of her content. And I don't have issue with a lot of consciously content. What I have an issue with is that they're disingenuous. And when the narrative is against their primary objective, instead of either staying out of it, they just try to double down.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, okay, I understand. To me, when it's like in the content space, that's one thing. But when you are trying to at least pretend to be somebody who is about advocacy and, like, again, feminism is their top objective. They've literally put feminism over black nationalism. If something's going on and it has something to do with a woman, a black woman, they're going to put that over.
Yeah, it's more like womanism technically.
Yeah, and that's the normal process of what they're going to do. We've seen this on the internet since the beginning. And that's why it's insulting to me, because when I came on the internet in 2010, 09, like, the feminists were a little bit more consistent. So if you were like, if they had feelings about something and your actions displayed those feelings, they were critical of those actions regardless of who you were. It wasn't until like Feminist Jones, Tyreek, like it wasn't until those kind of guys came in, or and women came in, that tried to make it where it's like, oh, every point that I stand on is for this objective and agenda.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I feel like it poisoned everybody with that, because now we don't even have like real dialogue anymore, because you're going, like, even with us, like, you're going to defend your side and you're going to feel like I'm defending my side.
Yeah.
Like, we can't even feel like we're having a good faith conversation. And that's the problem I had with it, because even with Conscious Lee promoting her, she shitted on niggas like you.
Yeah, because I don't know.
You don't have a black girl.
I don't know who he's married to, but the woman is not black.
That is not a black woman you're with.
Mm-mm.
And so she's been heavily critical on niggas like you.
But she would never criticize him specifically.
She would if it need be.
You think she would?
Oh, hell yes.
I don't think they would criticize each other.
No, he probably wouldn't criticize her, because that's going to hurt his base. But she would definitely criticize him, because that's only going to strengthen her base.
You're right.
He's literally a black man. She's literally what he was describing. That video where he posted that video on his page and said points were made. She was talking about niggas like you to a degree.
Was she?
She was, to a degree. And then when you get into her other content, that's what really pissed me off about it. That's what really, because I used to fuck with her until the Jonathan Majors trial. And it was just so disingenuous that she was trying to like paint him to be like this. I'm trying to think of a crazy person who was like doing domestic violence in a movie. It was like, she tried to paint him like he was Killmonger killing a chick in Black Panther.
I was about to say OJ.
Oh, well, OJ killed a white woman, so I'm pretty sure. Well, I don't know. Maybe her, I don't know. I don't think she was staying with OJ.
Probably not.
That's crazy. She wouldn't have stood with OJ. So, I mean.
You know what? No, I take that back. She probably, I feel like she might have.
Nah, she wouldn't.
I feel like she might have.
She would have been acting like we were all disingenuous for trying to defend a murderer of a woman, and saying, and she would have had to relate how all this would have came back to us. Oh, it always comes back here to the black woman, to the black woman's pain. And again, I just feel like you are a very intelligent woman. You make good content. Just be genuine. You don't have to be this fake critical person on everything, and you take the people who are at the end of the day going to be who you're going to need on your side and just shit on them continually. I'm not saying don't be critical. We over here talk FNF TV. We critical of everybody, but you can go here and you can say what I want. She jokes about me being misogynist and all that other shit. There's plenty of topics that I was in favor of the woman because I felt she was right. Like, so you can say what you want about me and y'all can make it whatever. Like, oh, this nigga got this girl on the show trying to shit on us. But it's like, no, y'all niggas are sons of D-Ray, sons and daughters of D-Ray. You remember D-Ray with the blue vest?
Yeah.
That's who these guys are.
Oh my God.
Y'all are waiting for y'all political check.
Yeah.
Keep it a bean. That's what they are. They're trying to be the next.
What happened to D-Ray?
He got his check, his little podcast. He interviewed Katy Perry and he was done.
Why was he interviewing Katy Perry?
He was trying his shot at the entertainment game.
Oh, so he was just trying to leave the black empowerment movement altogether and just be in Hollywood?
He was trying to push his own brand. And I'm pretty sure we looked at him now. He probably working for like some political shit now, where he don't have to be a spokesperson.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, at the end of the day, it's like, it's so counterproductive because all they want to do is line themselves. Like, I'm pretty sure, like, what do you think that their end goal is? Because she's a PhD in, essentially I would think what, gender studies. I think that's what it is.
I'm not 100% sure. Like, I think I follow her on TikTok, but I don't see her content that much.
Yeah,
I don't
she's
know
a
if I follow
PhD.
her.
I don't think Conscious Lee is
He's a teacher.
but he's not a PhD degree person, right?
No,
Yeah.
I think he teaches.
She has a PhD, but I don't like I
middle
say
or
it's
elementary school.
She has like one of those PhDs where it's not like in something that like that's gonna move the future in a tangible way.
Oh my God!
It isn't.
What the hell?
It's not going to move the future it's going.
You
move.
are not calling this woman's PhD useless.
I'm just saying it's not one of those things that is tangible. It's one of those things where it's like, yeah, she's gonna be a thought leader.
Yeah,
but it's like if motherfuckers stop caring about your thoughts, or in that if society moves away from those thoughts, it's plenty of people who they pull out quotes in the woodwork that niggas don't talk about anymore, but during their time they was that nigga. So I mean that could really happen in her field. It's not like she can invent a chip that's gonna be used in every computer moving forward.
I don't know.
She ain't a tech wizard.
I don't know what her goal is, but I want to see her.
We should try to get him on the show.
Like, I want to see her on I want to see her discussing things with other people who are educated to her level.
Because I just feel like even if she wants to move forward with like a end goal, it's if you're being conflict is if it's conflict that's being pushed every time in your narratives. Like how do you plan on finding an end to your goal? Unless the goal is to always have conflict, because that's always going to bring in capital.
I think her content that goes viral that you see if you don't follow her is conflict and things that might feel like her narrative is like pulling people apart. But that's not her general most of the stuff that I see from her on like my For You page, like she's talking about black people and black issues and black women, but it's not divisive or in any way, you know?
I mean, I guess it could be just my algorithm when it comes from her.
The video I'm thinking about that pops up in my head is like her and one of her friends, and they're just like bouncing back and forth, just like ridiculous ideas. And it's really I think she's just smart, and she's also funny, and she's witty, and she's entertaining to watch.
Like she's like like back on the old TV shows like on UP and stuff, they had that one girl who just needed to get fucked. Like she was always tense and she was always like irritable to people, and she just needed to get a dude in her life just to back that, knock it out the frame one a good time.
Oh my God.
She just tweeted this. I'm not pulling this out my ass. She just tweeted this.
Okay.
She was like, "Oh, I need some good back shots or something like that, but ain't no nigga worthy of this." You know that bullshit. Y'all be trying to pull out y'all ass. That's what she need.
That is hilarious. I was about to say she looked like she can get some dick whenever she really want to get it.
I mean, you know how y'all like to do. Y'all like to play there's no one worthy for this, when it's like, you giving the drug dealer down the road the box.
The drug dealer down the road is crazy.
She giving him the box.
Hopefully you just have Old Faithful. somewhere in the tuck.
It don't sound like that. It sound like, to me, my experience with women like that, it's never can really last for a really long time, because they're just going to find something to be agitated about, like, because that's what they're good at. They're good at being divisive. They're good at using their words and being funny and clever, and that's what's always going to bump heads with people. Like, I feel like if her circle isn't an echo chamber, there's always people getting in and out. Like, she probably has like a roller coaster of friends that come in and out because she can be divisive.
I don't know. I
like to speculate on these people, man. It's fun.
Yeah. I don't know. Seeing her interact with her friends specifically on her social media, I don't know if I agree with that. I don't know if I'm.
Well, I mean,
I'm
it's the echo
that
chamber.
on her jacket.
That could be the echo chamber.
Yeah, it might be that.
But we should get them on the show, though. Talk to them both, consciously and her. We can get them on 2 separate times. And I want to see I really want to get to, like, what is their end goal and what would they want to see moving forward, and what compromises on their end are they willing to make to get to that.
When I first started seeing Consciously's content, like, his end goal was just to educate people on things. Like, did you know this? I don't know what
it's become
it is
something different now.
Yeah, it's different now, but
it's very political. Like,
in its conception, it was just trying to educate people.
He's over there chucking it up with Joe Biden and stuff. Can't wait to get a picture at the Christmas party.
He was with Joe Biden?
Yeah, there's a whole picture of him ear to ear, fucking smiling, grinning like a fucking Cheshire cat.
Oh my God.
Like, no, like, that's what I'm saying. These people have narratives. They have agendas. And it's not people. It's them. That's why it's like, I'm just not with a lot of the shit that I see when it gets to the...
Joe is really trying to get the young black people to vote for him.
Well, this was an old picture, though. This is something like, I don't think this was this Christmas year. This was an old picture. Like, they've been in bed with the party for a while now. That's what I'm saying, man. Like, all this stuff is like...
That's really concerning.
All this stuff is super political. Like, they have a clear message to go through. Like, they have agendas, bro. They get scripts, yo. I want her to tell me if they don't. I want to know how much money she's gotten from the Democratic Party.
Has she been?
I'm pretty sure both of them have. I haven't seen any political pictures with her, but I wouldn't be surprised if she's working with other groups, getting some type of influence to do what she's doing. I wouldn't put it past her.
I don't know about her.
She said she does speeches and stuff. That shit don't happen just because you fucking...
Speeches where? What speeches?
Like at schools and stuff like that. She said
okay.
She does speeches at like colleges and stuff like that.
I mean, she has a PhD.
I'm just saying. I'm just telling you that.
I feel like
you don't do a lot of that stuff if you're not in bed with a lot of these folks, like, in a real way. So, but like I said, we'll see if we can get them on the show in the future. All right, let's switch gears a little bit here. Did you want to go towards? You want to just mention Joe Biden at the cookout real quick?
Oh yeah, we can do that.
Since we was on that topic, Joe Biden is sick, yo. So it was. I don't know if y'all saw the post that came out. This man had cookout with a teacher in North Carolina.
You went to his house?
This is a nasty election year, yo. Yeah, that's what it looked like. He was in his kitchen.
And bro, Cookout. So I guess Joe Biden is sponsored by Cookout.
This is a nasty. Is this worse than when Trump bought the McDonald's for the football players and stuff when they won a championship?
I think Trump's is worse only because they had to go to him for that bullshit. And if you come over with some burgers and fries, that's different.
You come over to my house with some Cookout and I didn't ask you to, it's up. Don't come over me with that, because if I want to go get that trash, I can go buy that trash myself. Don't come
Choosing
to me with
Cookout
that garbage.
is crazy. Like, why would you go to Cookout of all places? Like, they have hot dogs on the menu.
You hate black people, Joe Biden, obviously. Like, he has to hate black people because you didn't come with no vegetables. You know what I'm saying? Came in with the food desert food up in this motherfucker. I'm not with that, young. I'm not with that, Joe Biden.
You could have came with some flour child, something nice.
You want my vote, and you out here pulling up with the Cookout? That's disgraceful.
You could have
just spit in it.
Brought him a meal from the White House, a home cooked meal, in a little Tupperware pan, all cute and stuff. That would have been even cuter.
That would have got you some points. You would have looked like you actually had some flavor and some soul.
Mm-hmm.
Now you just look like you cheap. Like you can't even take a date. First date on the Cookout. I noticed the first time you met this man, like you couldn't bring some Zaxby's.
And then you couldn't even like support a local business instead. Like, why'd you Cookout of all places? You could have just picked a small mom and pop place, and then their logo on the bag would have been all over the news. That would have been great. You would have been getting really good press from that, regardless of what the food looked like.
Do you know Cookout has like a 95% success rate? Like anywhere they put,
They are laundering money.
No, I don't think they laundering money because them lines be wrapped around. People go to Cookout.
I've never gone to Cookout for more than a milkshake.
Mattress Firm launders money.
Mattress Firm is definitely, yeah.
But Cookout,
because you buy a mattress like once every like 5-10 years.
Cookout, niggas fuck with Cookout. Cookout is fucking.
They have their milkshake menu is like this big and this long, so I like it for that. But that's literally it.
Cookout is like the crack of fast food. It's like they took McDonald's, which you could say is like cheap cocaine, and they just put the baking soda in it and stretched it out, and that's Cookout.
And it's only in the South because they're not. Cookout is not available in New York.
I mean, it's just Whataburger and all that other shit they got like over in West Coast.
We don't have that in New York either. Whataburger.
I'm trying to think about what we had up north.
We got like JFK fried chicken. Oh my God, I miss the fries from JFK fried chicken. Lord, that's what I want. Every time I go to New York, I eat nothing but garbage. I go to bodegas. I be eating deli sandwiches. I be eating JFK fried chicken and fries. All I want is garbage the whole time I'm there. I want dollar pizza. I love New York cheap food. It's probably not even that cheap anymore.
All right, so we got to talk about baby Zoe, man.
Yeah, so
I got the video too when you're ready. So
yeah, I came across this video on TikTok, and as soon as I saw it, I was unsettled. Like the first time I saw it, I didn't even finish watching it because I felt so awkward watching it. I was like, first of all, why is he brushing this baby's hair so hard? Second, this baby is fresh out the womb. Like, why are you? Go ahead, play it.
And okay, and
I go into my
I'm
thing.
not gonna put it on the screen, but he has a very scary bald head. He looks like Lex Luthor. Like
he does. He looks like gay Lex Luthor.
He looks like Lex Luthor from Smallville. Let's listen.
Parents, we have adopted a black baby. Her name is Zoe, and I don't know what to do for her hair. I have this little brush.
And she's like 2 months old. Leave her the fuck alone.
I really don't know what to do. Please, any black parents or anyone who knows what to do with black children's hair, please help me in the comments. Thank you.
He said, "Hey guys, I just bought a black baby. I'm gonna be making content with this baby. This is the baby I'm soft launching my content baby."
This was a sick rollout for the for the black baby. Yo. This was a sick black baby rollout.
Because you literally could have just went to YouTube and scrolled through the millions of videos that black moms have made telling you how to take care of the black baby's hair. Like there's so many mommy influencers.
My bad.
There's so many mommy influencers that have posted like so many hair routines that you could have looked up. But instead, you decided to trot this little newborn on TikTok, so that you could gain monetarily from her. So after this, apparently he's already posted sponsored content with hair companies with this baby.
Damn, it jumped like that. That's wild, man. We're gonna do it. We need to talk about we stay on this, but we need to talk about how a Caucasian face can really push the algorithm.
No, we're definitely gonna stay on this.
No, I'm just talking about a side topic one day we need to discuss is how when you have a Caucasian face on something, how it pushes the algorithm will push you a lot faster and further than if you didn't. But no, let's get into this some more. So is it just him?
Okay, so I did some research and I went into a little rabbit hole that I did not know of. So, all of this research comes from the TikTok Word of State. His name is Carlos. I couldn't find his last name, but the TikTok is Word of State. So
shout out to you, good sir. Is he a good sir?
Yes. I think so. Good they. My bad if you are. I don't know. Um so this was a legal private adoption. So a legal private adoption is the adoption of a child for money who is not in state custody or in the custody of a licensed adoption agency. So this child is, and this is completely legal. So in some states don't allow this for fear of just like outright people selling babies.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is insane. So, and then for fear of also like children being placed in homes that are unsafe for them and with people that are unfit parents. So the name of the guy in the video, his name is Will. Will and his husband, I assume his partner, are both convicted felons. Both convicted felons who combined have over 100 felony charges, not convictions.
I was reading something. Aren't some of them violent?
Some of them are violent and some of them are hold on. So none of them are child abuse or sex crime related, but they do include violent and drug felonies. So both of them are recovering addicts. Both of them have been like clean for over 10 years.
Okay.
So that is I'll mention that also. So they might have completely recovered. And then
They just got to pass.
Yeah. When you are somebody with the drug addiction problems, like felonies and crime and things of that nature do generally follow. So that's probably why they have over 100 felony charges between the two of them. Not all of them are convictions though. So that's the information about the parents. So Zoe, where does Zoe come from? Zoe is a child of a 23-year-old former foster youth who already has 3 children. So 2 of the children that she had are with her, and then one of them apparently is with like a family member or friend. So I forgot to mention that all of this information comes from Will. So Carlos, the guy who runs the Ward of State TikTok, had a 1-hour call with Will because he himself is a child of foster care, and he has a child adoption advocacy group, and he does childhood adoption advocacy work. So he had a call with Will to voice all of the concerns that generally social media has been commenting, and also like his own concerns. So Zoe is a child of a 23-year-old former foster youth who already has 3 children. 2 are in her care. 1 is with a family friend. Statistically, 75% of women who grow up in foster care are going to have a child before they turn 19. So it's not her fault whatsoever. She didn't just like sell her baby. If anybody's thinking that, I don't know if anybody's thinking that.
So you said she already has kids already?
She has 3. So this is child number 4 that she gave up for adoption.
Okay, she's getting sharp.
Yeah. So the third one is with a family member or a friend. And Zoe is the 4th baby. So Zoe has been adopted through a private agency. So I did not know about private adoptions at all. I didn't know that you could just like buy a baby.
Yeah.
Like,
for the most part, you just good old fashioned trafficking.
I thought you would have to go through like the foster care system and adopt that way. And that even explains more why these children are left in foster cares for mad long, because people who can afford to just buy a baby, because according to Carlos, Will has already paid about like $7,000 and will probably pay to like $3,000 to $5,000 more. So that's like
About
less
a 10
than
grand baby.
less than $15,000 to buy a
You said you already paid 7. He got 3 more.
yeah, he
It's
got 3
10
to 5 more.
Oh, 3 to 5. Okay, so yeah.
Yeah. So like that's not that much money to buy a human being. Like that's really crazy.
Black babies are cheap too.
So it's a completely different problem in like other countries, like less developed countries, because so and let me continue and then I'll bring this up because that is also a good point that I wanted to bring up. In private adoptions, they have completely different system and requirements for the parents. They do not do background checks that are as rigorous as the government's foster care system would do. So people who have felonies, people who have child abuse in their history can literally just buy a baby. And
are they buying it from a company or is it like a?
they're private agencies. These are private companies.
So it's like basically could be like an individual who just is putting two people together.
Yes. So the agencies have.
How do you whatchamacallit for that? Like, you know what I'm saying? How do you like put out
Apply
ads
for
and promote?
that?
How do you know?
Oh, so there are ads. There are ads that are just like, can you not take care of your baby?
Oh shit.
Do you want to
Okay,
give
let's
your
get
baby
into
a better
it.
life?
Get into it. Okay. Oh shit.
Do you want to give your baby a better life? Sell your baby to us.
So basically
They
like
straight out just put ads on for it.
so like you know like when you driving up the road and you come to the stop sign and then at the corner they say we buy junk cars.
We buy junk babies.
Oh shit.
They're not junk babies though, but like you know what I mean.
Well, I mean, if they mama did a little
Oh my God,
prank.
no. So there's no government oversight whatsoever in this process. It's a completely private industry. They hire an adoption social worker
Oh, okay,
to
so that's how you legitimize
to
it.
look for a baby to adopt. So these people, the slang for them is a baby broker.
So hold on, they use government workers
They're
to
not
facilitate the clients?
they're not government workers per
You
se.
said social
Sometimes
workers.
yeah, so they're that's what they're called in this system.
Is there private social workers? I mean, I don't know. I've never heard any social worker I've ever heard is a government social worker.
I don't know if they're government social. I don't think they're government social workers. I think they're
But I'm
just
saying-
called
But
that in this
what I'm
system
saying
in the
is-
private sector.
What I'm saying is there is a private sector of social workers.
I don't think they're
That don't
they're
even
not licensed by the government. None of this is government sanctioned.
I know. Okay, I understand what you're saying in regards to that being sanctioned, but the person who's the facilitator, the social worker, that I can.
That's literally just a label.
But I mean, that's still a job and a title. Like,
Yeah, but I think you're getting too hung up on like the social work that like you have to get licensed to do for the government and them just calling it because they're also called baby brokers.
No, it says right here, social workers in private practice. You can have a private practice for social work.
So you can get your license to sell babies,
You can to do social work. Social work.
but to do this specifically, because I didn't.
Well, they're not just selling the babies. What they're doing is they're legitimized social workers in the state. From what I'm looking at right here, you're a legitimized social worker in the state, but you can practice on your own, like within. Okay, so this is what it says: overview. Clinical social workers in a private practice work in solo or group practices. So this is essentially somebody who can have their own company doing social work, and they're helping disenfranchised people, and now they're funneling. Like, part of that is I know women and children who are in bad situations that I can now put you in a better one. Because if she has these other kids in there, you said she just had a friend, a kid with another friend.
Mm-hmm.
So you already have a situation with a social worker. I see this woman and got pregnant again. Now I can start feeding into her head, hey, you're having this baby. You can't take care of it. Let me help get it into the hands of somebody that can.
Yeah. So
I did not know that. That's crazy.
yeah, that's crazy. So they hire an adoption social worker to look for a baby to adopt, aka like a baby broker. A baby broker is someone who tries to find their client a baby. In this situation, the baby broker was their lawyer.
Okay, let me add one more thing here too. So they said the private practice services that they can offer can be primary care, courts, schools, and nursing facilities. That's crazy. That's crazy.
It's a whole system that a lot of people are trying to get private adoption to just go away. They're trying to abolish private adoption because it's not illegal, but it's completely immoral. 100%.
We need there's definitely need some more regulations.
Yeah, 100%. So the baby broker in this situation was their lawyer. It's not always a social worker. You don't have to be a social worker to, I in in a lot of these situations, the clients are coerced to give up their babies and sell them, and it's generally like $10,000 for the price. If you're in like a lower developed country, like a third world, I don't like using that, third world country, people be getting like $50, $200 for their babies. Like they have no idea what's really going on, what they're signing away to, and then like it's a completely closed adoption. The child has no right to their birth certificate, their original birth certificate. A new birth certificate is made with the adoptees' names on it. It's a whole like erasure of your past.
Man, I mean, I grew up in a home where we took in a lot of foster kids, and most of them were black. So like, I know people have good faith intentions with it, but we didn't get babies. Like we got kids like 11, 12, 14. Like we got kids middle school and high school. So like I've never been in an experience where it was like a young child and baby. Like it just seems, especially with this private adoption, it does seem like I don't even care that he's gay. I just care that like he's not vetted. Like there isn't no system.
100 felony charges between the two of them combined.
100? I thought 100?
100 felony charges between the two of them combined. The two
God
fathers.
Damn.
Not convictions, but charges. They've been
I'm
charged.
saying that's just
with 100 different
100 of
items.
anything is crazy.
Yes.
Like, especially doing with the courts. So it's like, and I'm not saying
they would have never been able to adopt through a regular like government facilitated adoption agency. Like they wouldn't have met the requirements whatsoever, which is why they had to do this. And then Carlos explains this to Will. Will, I guess in the call also acknowledges that this whole system is fucked up and he knows that he had to go this way to get the baby because of his past. And he'll move forward and not like make content with the baby, and he'll like learn from his mistakes, and hopefully little baby Zoe is in a good situation. But I did not know that babies were straight up getting sold.
I mean, I've known that, especially all around the world where like there is traffic. Like I remember when I was coming up,
but legally,
having the Asian baby was the vibe amongst the people who were doing the adoption. Like that used to be the cool thing to do, was get a kid from Asia, a little baby from Asia that had the little cleft lip.
One of the worst countries that this happens is Cambodia.
I can see that because I knew somebody who was from Cambodia, and she told me about a lot of that was going, a lot of the child trafficking and stuff that was going on with
it got out of hand.
And it's crazy because like I think the real issue I had with it, seeing it, was just the whole use of children for content. Like I'm very against like putting kids out there for content, especially at that young age. Like they don't know the consequences, they don't know the repercussions, they don't have an idea of who's seeing this, and then like you don't have an idea who's seeing this and what they're doing with the content that you do when you put your child out there. And it's gross because it reminds me of a few different stories, but it reminds me, the first one that comes to mind is Shawty who had the baby. They tried to adopt the baby, and then they found out they couldn't use the baby for content for like the first year, and then they returned the baby. YouTubers
Mika and James Stauffer.
We shooting at these ones right here. Hold on, let me get the board going one time for these trash human beings.
Yeah. So they adopted this baby. They had their whole content journey, getting the baby and going through the process and everything, and then they announced that they had the baby, and then they realized that they couldn't make content with the baby anymore, and then they made another video saying that like something happened, and for his well-being they sent him back.
Trash people, bro. Like and it's disgusting.
Terrible people.
It's disgusting how y'all would just use kids in that manner, because they didn't ask for any of this. They just want a nice home. They just want some clean sheets, and y'all over here treating them like they're a commodity.
Your child is like, I never thought about it until like you brought it up, but like your child can't consent to that. Their whole life being monetized and followed like that. Like that's very weird.
It's way worse than the child actor stuff that was going on like in the 80s and the 90s. Like these folks
Well, I don't know, because they were being.
No, it's way different because there's at least
it's very different.
No, you know why it's different? Because at least there was a contract being done. At least there was an agent there. At least there was a whole bunch. These folks is just they camera and they kids trying to make different strokes.
And these kids a lot of the times like can't say no.
There was no chance for them to say no. Like there's never a chance for them to not consent to this. Like come on, man. We remember seeing videos of a girl who actually was on live and she was trying to fake the apology, you know, her and her son crying, trying to get her son to cry about. Like we've seen people manipulate kids and to try to make content out of them.
Yeah.
Like,
what was I about to bring up? That was my iPad. You just damn, I completely forgot. What's her name? Shy Moss. So Bow Wow's daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Her mom came out a couple months ago and was like, that last video I made with her, I forced her to do that. Like she was so unhappy doing that. She had previously told me that like she did not want to be on social media anymore. Her friends are saying stuff about it and she's uncomfortable with it. And yeah, good for you, Shy. Like
you got to stand up for yourself because you'll have these crazy parents out here who do content themselves, and because they shit is getting stale and dry, they can't burn themselves on fire anymore. They out here getting being a do boy by their boss twice a week, well 4 times a week on their shows, and now they gotta promote their kids to try to make content. And it's like, bro, y'all already admitted y'all not mature enough to handle anything like this. Why are y'all putting kids in the limelight, in the fire to be shot at? Because y'all gonna get in y'all feelings when somebody judge these kids, and y'all gonna be wanting to call the authorities and all this other stuff when you got nasty people looking at your children. That was one thing about me I never liked to do. Like the only time I ever really posted a picture of my son was like when he got a little bit older. It's when I got older too and kind of understood what was going on. Mm-hmm. And he got a little bit older. He just asked me to post a picture of him, and I did it. But that was because he asked me. Like he talked to me, and I explained it to him too. Like why I don't do it like that is because like, bro, there's nasty people on the internet.
There's very creepy people all over the place, and then
they're gonna repurpose it.
I wonder, well, like when y'all post content of your children, and then you have like 500 bookmarks on it. Like, that doesn't creep y'all out? Like, what do you think is people are saving your child for?
Like, I even think about have you ever gone on YouTube? Because I remember I was watching Joe Rogan and they talked about this. Have you ever gone on YouTube and looked at the little cheer competition videos?
Yes.
Those comments be vile. If it wasn't for like the YouTube changing up the algorithm so that they block potentially harmful comments, those comments used to be vile. Disgusting what the man was saying about them little girls performing.
Yeah, I was trying to find the name of the page on TikTok, but there's this guy that he's a stepdad to this little girl. The kids just got taken away by CPS, so he consistently posts content like poking fun at her body and stuff like that.
Talking about the big girl.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember that one too.
Yeah. So
it's just another one.
The kids got taken away by CPS.
But you see, it's funny though. Is the black people always get their kids taken away.
Always.
No problem.
So he was posting content like making fun of her, and it was really weird. It was uncomfortable to watch. People, he posted a video of this little girl. She's a little bit overweight, and he posted a video of her getting a gift, and it was Slim Tummy tea, which somebody sent her. Which, like, whoever sent that to her, if somebody did, that's messed up. And then why would you record that? But that's what he does. He embarrasses her on a regular basis. He records her eating all the time. He'll like deprive her of food when she's like begging that she's hungry or something like that. But
the first video wasn't like she was crying because her sister ate her food or something like that.
Yeah,
that was like the first video that started all of it.
Mm-hmm. So the kids got taken away by CPS, and then they post the video, and then she's just like, yeah, the kids got taken today, and they told me to pack they stuff. They stuff. It's already folded up.
Y'all niggas
And
have no
just,
shame.
Like, so, like,
how do you? To me, I would be too embarrassed to even want to go back for the turnaround.
the kids don't even got their stuff yet. You haven't even sent them their stuff, and you already made a video about it
And making content. You seen the other girl who had the baby in the trash bag? You didn't see that?
No.
There's a video of a woman. She's like going through a supermarket, like Walmart or something, and the baby is in a trash bag in the cart.
Oh, he's in a puffer jacket.
That's what it is?
He's in a puffer jacket in a diaper, and it's cold outside. And then everyone's like, call the cops. Like, why does this baby have no clothes on? But he was in a puffer jacket that's obviously not for a baby. That's for like a toddler.
That was a jacket? That should look like a trash bag that he had on.
It was a black puffer jacket. That's why it looked like a trash bag.
That
Black
shit looked
puffer
like he had a
jackets be looking
fucking
like
trash
bags.
bag on him.
And they were like, why you got like you're fully clothed with boots on and everything, and this baby has on a diaper?
That shit was crazy. But they were saying like, because she was saying call the people and stuff, and somebody was in the comment was like, you could tell just somebody who know what CPS is looking for, and anytime they come, they know exactly what to do, so they can't take the kid.
They said they was gonna call the cops. She started twerking and stuff. She was like, "Go ahead, call the cops. CPS done already been here over and over and over again. Like, I know CPS already."
Yeah,
That's what she said.
So it's crazy, man. Man, hey, we hope these kids hope the best for these kids, man. That's why I tell you, man, we need to stop bombing these niggas and start putting
Just
more government.
Make healthy birth control available.
Not even just that. We have to start putting more legislation that makes being a parent more advantageous. Like, or not even just advantageous, just makes it more easier. Because at this time right now, we don't have legislation that is conducive for parenting.
Other than taxes.
It's not even just taxes. It's like that. Yeah, you get that write-off, but
refund.
if you're not making no money, taxes don't mean shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? If you're not getting a substantial amount, taxes don't mean shit. So it's just it could be very simple what people could do, but we have this individual mindset and we just don't care. Like, it's no reason why every woman who gets pregnant shouldn't get a check for the kid and then a check after their service. Like, it don't have to be the same amount. You can decrease it once the kid has reached a certain age. But like, we all win when there's people around. Like, we need a healthy group of people coming around, and we need women to be in a position to be able to raise these kids instead of working for the fucking system.
Yes, if they want to do that. But if you don't want to do that, then we need to have safe abortions available for everyone, and we
100%.
need to have comprehensive sex education in schools. That's where it starts. Before even deciding on having the child, you need to know your options, and you need to know that if you don't want to have a child, then you're not going to be forced to do so. And then you're not going to be stuck and pigeonholed in this life for God knows how long. And then so many traumatic things are going to happen to you and that child. Like, it's a horrible situation altogether.
You think that girl, the little baby Zoe mama, like maybe like a little special needs or something too?
I don't know. I just know that
that's a lot of kids at what she like.
She's 23.
Yeah, 23, 3 at 23.
But that's like,
Well, 4, and you already gave up the third one.
but statistically, like, that's
Yeah,
why
I mean,
I put that in there. Like, she wasn't in a good position anyways.
I mean,
That's
I'm
usually
not,
what happens to girls in her situation in foster youth. Girls be getting pregnant by 19. They be having their first baby at 19.
Yeah, but I mean,
So
my
by
thing
23, she did one a year.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that is not the case. My thing is usually also in those situations, like, the woman has a false sense of security or she ain't all the way there in the head, and that's why, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you've seen that before, where like the special need girl pregnant and shit, like.
No, I don't think she's special needs at
No.
all. I think she's probably
Disenfranchised.
poor and disenfranchised, and poor people have nothing but time on their hands, and one of the best things to do with your time is fuck.
Oh no, for real. Yeah. And then we don't even know what she may have been. We can get a lot of speculation there. Came from a lady named Alethea.
Mm-hmm.
And I just thought this shit was hilarious. So this lady did something I didn't even know they was even doing anymore. She got excommunicated from her church. For real. No lie.
Yeah, I didn't know they did that still.
Like that shit was like old school. Like, used to be when you got the scarlet letter, they would kick you out the church. But like she over here, let me just read this. Okay, so she gets a letter in the mail from the church along with the check that she paid, I guess, for some counseling that her and her husband were getting. And they gave her 3 reasons why they were removing her from the church. So I'm gonna read them to you and just to give you let you know what's going on. So, you initiated the separation in your marriage to Josh without good cause, stating that you wanted to begin a relationship with another man. It seems you have no desire to keep your family together, and this has caused a great deal of hurt to you, your husband, your children, and many others.
Period.
And then in quotations, this being unfaithful to the marriage vow that you took before God. You continue to post many unchristian and even indecent pictures and messages on various social media sites over the past many months. You have also been
you posting that ass on Instagram.
You've also been very negative and critical of many of our church family. I believe to try.
And you talking shit.
I believe to try to take attention off your real needs, which you deny.
Ooh.
You have refused counsel or advice from your husband.
You're not listening to no damn body.
Your pastor and many others close church family.
Nobody.
Who really care about you and have tried to help. Brooke. So that's her name, Brooke.
Oh.
Brooke, contrary to what you've tried to convince us, you really are not in a very good place right now.
Girl, we know you faking. We know you ain't got no money.
Oh, shit. When the church reads you like that and they give you back your tithe, that's crazy.
Yeah, because the church don't give money back.
The church will be like how they consider the pharmaceutical industry. We're just going to keep pushing out this no cure just for the problem so that you keep coming back for us. That's what church is. And the fact that you got duped is sick.
They gave you your money back at church. That's
like, you can't even come back.
What were you posting?
I need to see those pictures, Brooke.
She was posting full
frontal nudity,
full booty hole pictures.
And the name of this church is the Islandton Church of God. Of God of Prophecy. That's a lot right there. There's a lot of ofs right there.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. They gave her a $500 check back.
So that's the end of it.
That's a real Jezebel right there. Yeah, that's all they had it for.
Okay.
That's a real Jezebel.
I wanted it to keep going. I wanted them to keep reading her.
I needed some more. I need to go in. We need to call Brooke.
I want the second and third page of this. Like, post the rest of it, Brooke.
That shit happened last year.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, she's just now posting it. Okay. Yeah. She got her shit together and is like, all right, let me post this and show y'all what these monsters did to me.
So like when you go to the next church and they be like, so what was your last church? Like what happened at your last church? Do you even like bring that up? You just let that ride.
It's not even a question that people ask.
No, yeah, they do. They'll ask you about your last church and your last, because the other pastor would want to know, is this a good sucker right here? So he gonna call the other pastor and let know, is this a good tree to sap off of, or what's going on here?
The other pastor's gonna be like, no,
that ain't it. You don't want Brooke. Brooke a wild gal.
I mean, depending on the pastor, they might definitely want Brooke. Pastor's gonna call the old one. He's gonna be like, what's going on with Brooke? Old pastor's gonna be like, Brooke is a Jezebel. She be posting booty pics on Instagram, and she cheats on her husband, and she be sucking dick in the pew. And then the new pastor gonna be like,
have you ever been swallowed up? Have you ever been swallowed up?
New pastor's gonna be like, oh, that's crazy. What is the Instagram that she be posting said salacious, sinful pictures on?
I need to put the hands of the Lords on her. Let me pray for her.
I need to put several hands
around
of
her.
the Lord.
Okay, so we got to get into something serious, man. This was crazy to me. This is like some real Breaking Bad, like level shit that's going on in our country.
It is.
I'm about to just put y'all in. So this is a clip. Santes Pliego is who posted it, but I don't think this is his content. But I just want y'all to just take a listen. It's a 3-minute clip, but it's I won't play the whole thing, but it's worth checking out. So.
I forgot to mention, tranq prices are kept fixed by the cartel. The original crooked veterinarian at the top of the supply chain doesn't sell to the Trank brothers or anyone directly. They sell wholesale to a broker who works for a Mexican drug cartel. What are those guys like?
Sturdy, very sturdy. They won't do what I'm doing.
Do they kind of control things on like a high level?
Yes, they do.
That's
Prices,
scary.
He's
people
talking to a
are-
man in all
For my
black.
own safety, I don't want to say which one, but the cartel sets a fixed price for xylazine bottles and closely monitors Trank as it travels down the supply chain, particularly as it moves from the Trank brothers onto the blocks, like Kensington. If any blocks are found to be cutting and weakening Trank to maximize profit or getting xylazine from outside veterinarians, they would almost instantly be killed, and the cartel doesn't have to do it themselves.
They can get you touched without even being here.
Really?
Yes, sir. They'll drop the price.
Just like a bag on somebody's head,
Yeah, no problem.
and that word just kind of circulates around.
Yep.
In the past year, though, this market has become increasingly difficult to regulate due to an overseas manufacturer called Han-Hong Pharmaceuticals, which is an unregulated company based in Wuhan, China. This company, which should be a household name, is funded directly by the infamous Wuhan Institute of Virology. But I like having a YouTube channel, so I'm going to save my cross-analysis for a later date. Anyways, Han-Hong Pharmaceuticals was recently revealed to be the company solely responsible for selling fentanyl precursors to the Mexican drug cartels, who then bake these chemicals in a laboratory into pills and powder to import into the United States. Because of the success of the open-air trank market in Philadelphia, this company recently figured out about xylazine. And so, about a year ago, Han-Hong began selling their own variant of xylazine, but instead of liquid, in a powder form for only $20 a kilo, which they've been attempting to sell to drug dealers in Philadelphia on platforms like Telegram and WhatsApp. Unlike the trade of fentanyl, which requires the cartel as a middleman to bake the precursors, Han-Hong's invention of powdered xylazine allows them to cut out the cartel as a middleman and sell directly to dealers. For a period of time, this was a real game changer for trank dealers. However, this majorly weakened the control of the cartel, who had already set a fixed price for liquid xylazine bottles, leading them to impose a death sentence on anyone caught receiving or trading powdered Chinese xylazine. This green light on someone's life, however, is imposed remotely. Because Philadelphia is so poor, all the cartel has to do is contact the city's gang leaders through private channels, with someone's picture, their name, and a price. In the following days, a feeding frenzy for that person's life will ensue.
3 gunmen firing dozens of shots in broad daylight, killing a 19-year-old man who was sitting on some steps.
From an outside perspective, it may look like gang warfare or just simply black-on-black crime, but it's actually a proxy war between Chinese corporations and Mexican drug cartels. For this reason, the advent of trank in Philadelphia has led to a major spike in homicides. And almost nobody.
If you don't think this shit is happening in every major city, you are a big fool.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Like, this is the shit that I'm glad that there's somebody who's being able to shine a light on this. But just listen to this shit. This shit is straight out of some Breaking Bad. Like, somebody would write this. Like, these folks, not only are these
This is they clone Tyrone.
basically, but this is like it might be even more sinister.
Yeah.
It's more sinister because just think about this. Like, just think about the picture he just painted. He said that these Chinese companies are supplying them with what they need for the fentanyl and also cutting them out of the deal for the trank. Like, they're literally banking on both sides.
And then they're going directly into black neighborhoods in the United States and wreaking havoc. The drugs are coming from them. The violence is coming from them.
Like, it's all, and then we have these individuals, these conservative individuals talking about black on black crime and all this other shit. When it's like, no, nigga, this isn't black on black crime. It's a fucking proxy war.
Yeah,
being
that's
fought
exactly what it is.
with black bodies. Not a Mexican cartel nigga gotta die for this. Not a Chinese corporate leader gotta die for this. Nothing but black bodies who's gonna die from the product and from the commerce. What's needed for the logistics of the commerce.
What happens if all the black people just decide to stop altogether?
It's not just the black people though. This is disenfranchised people. So trailer park
All
niggas
of the
is going through this.
disenfranchised people.
There's gonna be more. There's always gonna be disenfranchised people. That's how the system works.
Like, what if they're just like, you know what? Fuck it. We're not selling your shit anymore.
Then they're gonna kill you.
They gonna kill everybody?
You think if a nick that we could put people in here, bro. We got if I have the fears that people really want to have, and we can just send folks off the border, and you gonna send them to sanctuaries around the country. What do I care? If I have to kill off every fucking black person that's buying and selling my product, I can just send in agents. So again, that's just super conspiracy with it. But this is shit right here where documented. Like the nigga is talking to one of the Trank brothers about what's going on in the city.
Yeah, this is real. It's happening.
Like, and for people to talk about this and try to criticize our community when we have so many outside forces that are affecting our daily decision making. Like, that just makes me, like, just to hearing about them killing that 19-year-old boy, that makes me think about some of the shootings that I've heard about and seen of young kids and what they really got killed for. It wasn't a dispute that they was having. He was buying something from somebody else and somebody was committing a hit.
Like, you really just got a notification on WhatsApp with somebody's picture, and then everyone is trying to kill you.
It's like some John Wick shit.
It is.
That's exactly what happened on John Wick. And then again, they try to talk to the distant. That's why I hate.
That's crazy. That's really crazy to think that's going on. Babies getting sold, and then black people are getting used to fight in wars where we're making crumbs of the money.
If you think about it, it's only one person.
All of the risk, the lowest reward. Yeah. Fuck us.
Yeah.
Every time.
And it's just this mentality of I gotta get mine that goes from the top down.
Yep.
And we just keep passing the buck off until we get the young crash out who don't know no better. And now he on the floor on the ground, or he got somebody else on the floor on the ground in blood. He done lost his life because he going to jail for a few years, but because he a kid, he gonna get out and be able to come back. You know, it's just nasty work, and we keep getting the blame like we're these creatures that can't be civilized when it's like there's so much disenfranchisement around us, and y'all are taking advantage of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, it's unfortunate, but you can get a lot of shit done by giving a black man a lot of cash, or a poor man at that, a lot of cash at once. And I'm pretty sure that, like, when the price drop on this, if we actually looked at it and the percentages of it and the cuts and all this stuff and the splits, it's like, bro, y'all niggas just killed each other probably for like 10 racks, yo. Not even that.
And then in comparison to what these people are making, you just killed the man for a drop in the bucket.
Yeah, I remember I was just reading about.
They're just trying to keep control.
I didn't get to watch it yet, but the Griselda just came out tonight, and they were saying she was making like $80 million a month.
Oh, we gonna watch.
Yeah, we're gonna watch it after this. But they were saying she was making. So just think, that's almost $1 billion a year, and that's the kind of money that. And that was in the 80s.
Nothing.
That was in the 70s and 80s. Like, that was back in the day.
Oh,
so just imagine what. I would argue that these cartels might be trillionaires.
They are.
Like when you actually did if you were to do a real surface evaluation, it's trillionaires. And you can't imagine what these folks would do just for a little bit of that. So it's fucked up, man. Just be aware of what's going on, man.
High risk, high reward, man.
Stop using narratives like black on black crime and stuff like that. It's not. No, this is a proxy war between countries and people who don't care about the people that are fighting. Like, literally,
black on black
the
crime
shit we
is
doing in
propaganda.
Africa, the shit they doing in Africa with the proxy wars in Africa, they just doing it right here in our communities. Don't forget that. All right,
that's their bag.
What's
next?
Let's lighten up. Let's lighten it up now, man. You know, we've been that was intense.
This has been a slightly more serious episode.
It has been. We've tried to lighten it up a little bit here and there, but we gotta do what we gotta do.
Yeah, we went to school for journalism.
We attack the hard topics.
Sometimes we do journalism things.
We bring the hard topics. You did really good on that too. I'm proud of you. You did that.
Oh, thank you.
You did good. So let's get into some funner shit right now.
Shit.
Some funner shit. My mixtapes on Twitter had dropped a list that says the top 10 rappers that fell off.
Yes.
I'm gonna start from the bottom. All right. So Polo G. You familiar with Polo G?
Yes, I'm familiar with Polo G. He's not in jail though, right? No.
It just to me, the problem with him.
Oh, I know Polo G because his girlfriend is gorgeous and she's actually like a brown skinned woman, which these niggas don't be doing.
I think the thing with Polo G in it, and I'm not trying to question your gangster, but when your mama your manager and your rap sheet is really like on the low end, it's really hard for folks to kind of adopt you as this tough rapper.
Why do y'all need to be tough? Like, you could have just came out as an artsy nigga and you would have been fine. Like, look at Lil Yachty. He's super successful in his little bubble that he has maintained for himself.
I agree, but I mean, to me, the aesthetic,
And he's
like,
young.
when you take a step back and look at Polo G, because I've looked at stuff, he's had little altercations in the streets and whatnot. But when you take a step back and look at it and really encompass it, it's a reason why he doesn't get the same looks like a Dirk and the way Von and then was all looked at, because like your shit don't look legitimate. And I'm not trying to say you're not a tough nigga. You could be. You might shoot me. But just saying, from the outside looking in, it looked like you.
Also, you don't have to be. You don't have to be.
Oh, you don't. But just from the
These
outside
niggas
looking
think
in.
you need to be, but you don't technically have to be.
From the outside looking in, it looks funny in the light. That's all. Meek Mill is number 10.
Yep.
For obvious reasons. He can't fucking put a complete sentence together on X.
That nigga is incoherent and stupid as fuck. And Meek Mill is one of my least favorite people that I have had the disservice to just like in the celebrity, zeitgeist. It's been like forced upon me on a regular basis.
I feel like these next few people I'm about to name should be higher on the list. But it's the Baby. Oh no, excuse me, Roddy Ricch, the Baby, Designer, and Lil Pump. So with Roddy Ricch,
Designer Ben fell off.
Yeah, that was before you started jacking on the airplane. Like you really fell off.
Why would you do that?
Sometimes you gotta pull the
There's
meat
a
out.
bathroom.
Sometimes you gotta pull the monkey out.
That's like really crazy.
Sometimes you just gotta whip out. But Roddy Ricch, I agree with this one because that first single and his first album, I thought this nigga was always gonna be on the air.
Yeah, and then
like I thought he was going I felt like on the low end of his career he would have been the hook guy. Like he would have been like how Quavo used to be and how Sway Lee used to be. I thought he was gonna be the next hook guy if at the worst, and then at the best, I thought he was gonna have real hits, but nothing really too much came out. I think his last project was a little bit better, but still not nothing that really hit the people. And then of course the Baby, we knew he was gonna fall off for that.
Yeah, the Baby been hitting bitches left and right.
I will say
just
this:
uppercutting women all over the goddamn United States. Like,
I will say, just keeping it hip hop in his music. If it's a motherfucker who's been fighting for his creative life, it's the Baby. He is trying.
Oh yeah, he's like no.
He put his nephew
clawing for relevancy.
Speaking of the kid shit, he just put his nephew, with him and his nephew getting ready for school and shit in the morning. Like he's trying. That little that shit he did with the little she a hot girl. That song, the one he was working with the tow truck nigga. I'm talking about he is fighting for his life.
It was a little viral TikTok moment.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, he ain't giving up.
No, he's not.
If it's one nigga that you gonna have to earn this kill, it's gonna be the Baby. You're not gonna take that nigga out. Lil Pump, I think he just said some shit to Joe Budden not too recently, right?
Nobody cares what Lil Pump says to anybody ever or what
about
his whole existence.
You remember when he used to say that? It's skitty. Lil Pump was an era though. 2016 Lil Pump. Gucci.
I don't fuck with none of you white boys, so let's
Gucci
continue.
Gang. Rich Homie Quan. I got a homeboy who Rich Homie Quan was in 2000. I think this is probably like 2013, 14, maybe 12. No, yeah, 13, 14. Rich Homie Quan was the staple for him. Mm-hmm. And just to see.
He was for a lot of guys.
Yeah, like, $1 million. That shit used to bump. Oh.
Yeah.
Him and Thug, that rich gang shit. Like, them boys, they had a movement at the time. I didn't think he could fall off when Rich Homie Quan came out. I was surprised he got the Roscoe Dash treatment.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like.
Because Roscoe Dash was hot for a while. And
they
then
kicked
he
Roscoe out
disappeared.
the city. They kicked Roscoe Dash out the city.
Did they?
Yeah, then they got to go to Augusta.
Why?
Because nigga was on bullshit. They had to kick that nigga out the city. I remember that.
I didn't know Roscoe Dash got kicked out of Atlanta.
Yeah, they kicked that nigga out the city. Then they got NBA Youngboy. I feel like that's just hate. NBA Youngboy ain't fell off that much because he's still putting out product that his fan base is rocking with.
Yes, his fan base treats his music like crack.
He drops it like a new crack rock special that came out every time. So
yeah, like he drops music all the time. NBA Youngboy, I don't think he's ever gonna consistently be mainstream. He's always gonna have his people though.
And then the top 3 is Lil Baby, which a lot of hate for Lil Baby since that Gunna shit that he did. Quando Rondo, of course, the King Von shit. And then Bobby Shmurda.
Yeah, Bobby Shmurda, you got out of jail and then you just been dancing around, like being weird.
Well, he said that people have been trying to get him to do the gangster shit again, and he doesn't want to do that.
Nigga, no, you don't have to do the gangster shit. Get in the studio.
The shit that he
Bobby, get your black ass in the studio, Bobby. You don't have to talk about, like, just make dancing lit nigga music. Like, get you.
Can we be honest? Can we be honest?
You and Roddy get y'all asses in the goddamn studio. And Roddy been in the studio.
Don't put Roddy in there. Roddy makes good.
Yeah,
good
Roddy been in the studio. Roddy got
Bobby,
out and put out a first day out freestyle. He was not playing with you niggas.
Bobby does not make good music. He made a great hit with Hot Nigga. He's more, if he was in an area where he could be like a Flavor Flav, where he's like a hype man.
What's that other song that he had that was my shit? Living Life.
I couldn't even give you the hook of that song.
Living Life was my shit, and it definitely went platinum in New York. So, Roddy. But Roddy Rich was on there too.
My thing
was really, the combination of them is really what is it. So two of them need to get in the booth together.
He needs something. Like I say, he needs to be a supportive role. He's not a individual rapper. He's not a solo artist, in my opinion. I feel like he needs to bounce off of somebody else. He needs to do like how Killer Mike does.
Y'all can't just give us computers and then just not anymore. Y'all can't just computers? Seriously? We played computers in New York like it was new for 6 years. We played every party you would go to in New York from like, I don't even know when it came out, from like 2019 to like, it was before that. Computers came out before 2019, huh? Look up when computers came out for me, please. But for like 3-4 years, we played that song like it was new. I think Roddy and Roddy Rich, not Roddy Rebel, and Bobby Shmurda are one of those like combos that's like it works for me every time. I don't know if they've done anything since he got out, but they haven't done anything as good as Living Life and Computers. Like Computers was really,
that says 2014.
Okay. Yeah. Cause why'd I say
no,
2019?
Well, it said 15 it was released.
Okay, so from 2015 to like 2020 for real. Like we was not.
But that was before Hot Nigga though, right? Hot Nigga was 2016, right?
I don't know which one came out first. I think they were probably in the same era.
Gotta see when this came out. Hot Nigga had to come out in 2016
Same era.
because that's when I remember everybody throwing the hat up.
Mitch caught a body about a week ago.
Oh no, it came out in 2014. That was 2014. It was 14. Yep.
That's what I was. Oh yeah.
It was 14. Yep.
I had to remember like where I was undergrad wise.
Yep, that was 14. That's crazy. But no, I just feel like Bobby, and it's just, we can wrap it up with this part. But I just feel like Bobby is he is a supportive figure. In whatever artistic endeavor, he's a supportive figure. If you try to make him that nigga, you try to ask him to get on top of the desk at Def Jam again, it's gonna look nasty.
So you wanna talk shit and run your mouth? You wanna see my black ass right in front of your house? Like, I ain't come to talk, I came to bang it out. Bow, bow. Do it again. Do it again, please. God damn. It's like I need it. I need it, Bobby.
Damn. All right, we got to do a victory lap here. So here at Talk FNF, we make a lot of predictions. We talk a lot of trash, but we see the future. And we called it.
We did.
We called it. We knew Jess Hilarious was not going to be a full-time Breakfast Club host.
She is unfit to be part of a nationally syndicated radio show. So you cannot just hate gay people and trans people and be syndicated.
I just want you to let y'all know when we had a foot on our neck in December, because we saw that that little video go out that she got part of the Breakfast Club and that was official, and we looked at each other, we were shaking on our boots. We thought we were we thought we fucked
We
up.
thought we were wrong.
We thought we were gonna have to get on this fucking couch and tell y'all we were wrong. But guess what?
that they were gonna overlook her bullshit.
But guess what, niggas? We were right.
we were.
Just Hilarious does
We're
not
right.
look like she is going to be on the Breakfast Club.
We're not celebrating a black woman's losses, but we are celebrating us being right.
We are celebrating it by proxy. Shout out to the cartel.
Not shout out to the cartel.
But no.
I mean, if y'all want to sponsor, I'll do a little commercial in the beginning.
We got the
This-
fentanyl.
This podcast is brought to you by Los Otros Cartel. I just made that up. I don't know what that
I think
is.
that might be the name.
Lobos Cartel.
Not Lobos, that's LeBron's cartel.
Okay.
But oh shit. But no, she announced it, and I think it was kind of funny here was in the midst of her not being the third member, you know, Charlamagne and them said they was upset about a lot. Even Joe Budden took some shots by saying he offered her a job up at the Joe Budden podcast. But
She'd probably be more entertaining than Mel, low key.
I think both of them would be good at the same time, honestly. But what happened here was
Yeah,
she
Mel
took
needs to
shot.
back up.
What kind of cemented that she's not coming back is that she took shots at DJ Envy. So she called this nigga
Which
trash.
is easy. And he is.
And this happened after they had a SZA conversation where they compared her to Mary J. Blige, and she called him trash. And it just made it really clear that whatever was going on beforehand, it may not be the same.
Mhm.
Because even if you shoot at somebody like that, when we work together, it's going to feel different when the public looks at it. Because this isn't like just a New York radio show. This is a nationally syndicated radio.
Yeah.
So you have so many people's opinions that are going to be in so many people's narratives that they want to see be pushed, a la ourselves. And this just looks like it's official. She's not going to be with them. Why would you call the nigga trash publicly like that and put his name in it?
I knew that iHeart or whoever it was, Power 105, all those powers that be, like, y'all not going to want to put your names behind somebody who's a liability like Jess. Like, I don't think she was going to control her mouth enough.
Let me ask you this question, because you know Star, you know the dude I be listening to.
Mm-hmm.
He threw this out there and said that potentially she could have denied iHeart because iHeart was trying to maybe put her in like in a 360 type of deal where they were going to be collecting from her other, because you know this is going to be, I can see in my mind, if I'm a radio station, radio is dying, I need another way of generating income.
Yeah, she does tour
And
and
second,
stuff like that.
and you tour. So if I'm going to give you a platform to be on a nationally syndicated radio, to always be able to give your tour dates to the public listening,
And you got a packed house.
that's, I mean, she might already have. I don't know her numbers. I don't know what she can do. I can only assume if Taraji P. Henson is complaining about her money and her field, it can only reflect everywhere in the entertainment field.
Mhm.
So if Taraji's not getting paid, I can't imagine that
Jess
Just
is getting
Hilarious
paid.
is getting something that she feels she's worth.
Mm-hmm.
I can't imagine that. But I gotta say, shout out to Jess though, because you found something else to talk about beside Country Wayne.
He said, "Keep my name out your mouth, bitch."
Shout out to Country Wayne too. That's
That was
a good
mad
nigga.
long ago. Like, we messed mad long ago. Stop talking about me, please. You look crazy, and that's wild for a man to come out and say. Like, that's really. I would just shut up. Like, you can't even bark back and be like, nigga. I'm like, no, you just gotta be like,
And then
that's
see,
an
like,
L for you.
and then like, you can always talk to chick crazier when you didn't give her a baby, the one that you dated. Like, so you can always be a little extra spicier.
Especially when you got 27 of them.
That's not, but see, because my thing is this is like, she not just gonna get what's for her. You know what I mean? You want to get this other 11 that I can't get off. You getting what's for them too. I'm sorry. I can't. They the mother of the kids. I can't shoot at them as I want to. But I can shoot at you. I didn't give you
I'm
no
sure
kids.
Country Wayne shoots at everyone the exact way he wants to shoot at them.
Oh, for sure. 100%.
But yeah, I feel what you're saying.
But I can just understand as a man where it's like, yeah, I can't really talk trash to these other women because we got kids together. But me and you, we don't. I can keep this straight at you. Get some more material, bitch.
Stop talking about me. Every interview.
Especially when it's like especially too when it's like professional and like I'm out here getting to it like on some real shit and you not. We in the same field. Like that's the best feeling. When you can really kick her back in and it's like
right after she done lost the Power
tangible.
105 shit.
It's tangible. Well, he did that beforehand. So I mean, it was in question when he said that. But no, I gotta fuck with it. Country Wayne a real nigga, man. I fuck with niggas like that who just keep everything, but is still able to talk they shit when needed. They not just gonna let you walk all over them. They not. That's like Gilbert Arenas. Gilbert Arenas, man, he paid his child support and everything, but he was not letting Shorty walk all over him. She had to earn that win every time. Every time. But I'm tired. These niggas need to know, man. I'm about to really express some shit to these niggas because y'all out here letting these niggas think they out here moving.
You telling me a nigga winning my man on my kids, a nigga ain't never winning my pocket. Why y'all turning these niggas up?
Why?
We ain't never heard about these niggas taking shit from nobody. Why it start with me?
Who is this
Why
tiny
y'all
little
niggas
man?
start with me?
Ask him again.
These niggas ain't took no money, man. These niggas paying me to stop fucking with them. Stop getting on these niggas' ass. Nigga, what you talking about, nigga? Oh, vote for my kids, nigga. Them niggas paid us to get off their ass. I was there.
I was there. So 4-2 Doug. Are you familiar with 4-2 Doug?
Yeah, I know who that is.
He was on a live with some group of people and they were discussing conflict between him and Offset. So there was been some discussion that said that Offset basically took some money from him, and intimidated 4-2 Doug and was able to get some money off of him for that. I want y'all to know something. Okay, we here in Atlanta. We hear things. We know what 4-2 Doug did to Offset. Okay, when they was gambling for that money in the studio, and Offset was trying to ask for his money back. We know what happened.
Do we?
Oh yeah, it was on video.
Oh,
you see them boys arguing in the parking lot. You see Offset walking away. It wasn't no problem. This happened when 4-2. This before 4-2.
So wait, he was asking for his money back, and Offset was just like no and left.
No, this is the other way around, baby girl. 4-2 Doug was gambling with Offset and like with little. It was all because he was a little baby artist. So they was all gambling. He was taking Offset money. Offset asked for some of his money back because in gambling, that's something that we'll do. Where it's like, hey, bro, you kick my ass, but can I get something to take home with me? I had 10 racks. Can I get 4 of them back? You took 10. And usually,
no.
Well, amongst men who respect each other, that's a normal practice. You would then get that man just to save face because at the end of the day, if I didn't took 10 racks off you, you gonna want to fight for that 10 racks back at the end of the day.
We're gonna fight.
That's what I'm saying.
That's why I'm not.
You don't understand that because that could end in your life for 10 racks. When I can just
why
give
would you gamble your money if you're not ready to lose it? That's why I think
again,
gambling is stupid.
But you can say all of that, but you gotta actually kind of understand the culture. You right. It is yours, and that's what's gonna happen.
Take it.
So then
take my life and
then they're gonna have you on the news. Then they're gonna have you on the news because again, I'm not trying to talk down on anything, but there was a Migo who was in a similar situation where conflicts because of gambling started, and it did not end promising. So like that's a real thing.
It is, yeah. So
like he didn't give him the money back. Offset started a little conflict with them, and it was reported, from the rumor mill that 4-2 and his team got the best of the Offset team. So this has been a conflict for a minute. I see where 4-2 is coming from, where it's like, bro, we done already had our win with y'all. Why y'all still trying to do this? But Offset trying to do what he trying. Offset trying to revamp his image too. You got to clean up some shit. Y'all try me in the
because
past.
Cardi out here dropping snippets in New York clubs, and it sound like heat, and she looking good, and she said you out here flopping, and you sad, and your last project was garbage, and it's not looking good for you.
That's what happens, man. Like when your
I still want her to get back together with you to cheat on you. with Quavo.
That's what happens though. You try to save face, and then you got to start acting tough so you can earn your stripes back. But we'll get into more on that later. We'll see how that turns into. But we got to talk about this proposal.
Yes, go ahead. Do you want me to introduce?
I mean, it's not really much to introduce. It's just a story that, you know.
So there's this little story that's been going viral on TikTok and Twitter lately. This guy told his girlfriend to wear a cute flowy dress for their special day that they were about to have, and then she was like, "Don't tell me what to wear, motherfucker."
Disgusting.
And she wore cargo pants and a button down, and then the video of he ends up proposing to her, and then the pictures of her being proposed to, she is going to always look like a lesbian lumberjack,
or she gonna look like she out there doing architect.
She looks like an art student, which is not terrible, but like all of social media is like, you dumb bitch. Look at how you look.
Looking like Indiana Jones in your proposal pictures.
You bitches don't listen. You never want to listen. That's basically everyone's thing about it. They're like, oh, she's gonna be so embarrassed. She's gonna look at these and she's gonna cringe that she didn't listen to her man. And that's generally been everyone's take on it. I have a different take on it.
To me, like, I was thinking about this when I saw this, and it made me realize something about myself, like, before you and I got together, where I would really have, like, something in my head that would, once an action would be done, I would understand it, okay, this isn't going past where it's at now. And it was something that I unconsciously would reveal itself to me when I wouldn't even express it. Because it'd be like, if this happened to me, and I was like, hey, I want you to wear this, and you said no, I would understand to myself, you're never going to be my person. I might continue to sleep with you in whatever this relationship is, but you're never going to be the person that I would continue this with. Like, for real. It just wouldn't be like, that would just, and I realized that I was like, I'm like, man, why did I always feel so easily for me to just jump from one girl to another girl? Well, it was because, like, once she did that, it was just out of my head. It was like, oh, you're not going to be her. So what does it matter?
I didn't do anything.
No. You fell into a lot of, aesthetic things that I liked, a lot of things regarding just your family life that I liked, and personally. And there were certain things that even if you didn't necessarily have, that you weren't going to act like that was something that you wanted to present as who you were.
Mm-mm.
You know, that's a lot of women don't do that. They'll present that as who they are and be combative at all times when it's like there's no reason for you to be combative. So I mean, I just feel bad for bruh, because he obviously likes to just be talked down to and talked at.
Yeah, I feel like everyone's been having such a like negative outlook on this whole little thing, but maybe like this couple might just think this is a cute little story to tell. You know, like, no, they might not even have taken it that serious. Like, he might not have cared that much what she wore.
But for him to not care, that speaks on the type of individual he is, though.
Maybe he, like, this is all like speculation, but maybe he asked her to wear it because he thought that she might want that. He's like, I don't give a fuck what you're wearing. I love you, and I'm going to propose to you anyways, but you might want to have a nice flowy dress on. And you have no idea this is happening, so let me just mention it real quick. And then she was like, nah. And he was like, you know, I don't give a fuck. I still love you, and I'm still gonna put this ring on your finger, stubborn bitch. But like,
I mean, he clearly has his own things that aren't all the way with him. Like, there's some.
No,
shit.
I don't think it's that.
It is, man.
I don't think. I feel like there might have been you don't think there was any situation where he didn't give a fuck at all about what she wore?
Because he wouldn't have brought it up.
Maybe I think it was maybe for her.
If it wouldn't have been brought up, because then I wouldn't have said a flow. Just said, wear something nice, wear something you like. Like, I would have put it in your ballpark, but clearly he had a request. I want you to wear something for me because I think you're going to look nice, and I'm going to do something for you. Like, there was a plan behind it. It's just somebody like that. There's going to be a point where y'all meet heads, and it's like an inevitable thing. Because at some point, it sounds nasty when people hear it, but at some point, one person has to step back and say, this is just what we riding with. Because if we have to battle with everything,
it's little stuff like that you don't have to battle with. Like, my husband likes me looking like an old Hollywood black actress. Like, he loves when I wear white. I try to wear like flowy white things and like have my hair like he likes it and stuff like that all the time. But why? I don't know why you wouldn't. Also, that's another thing. Why wouldn't you just want to look nice for your man? Why do you want to be combative when it comes to that?
It's because what have I said before? A lot of people, that's what they're conditioned to think. Like, we've had even conversations with us where it's like, I may say something and you probably agree after you thought about it, but because it's what I'm asking you and what you've seen other people say about that, it makes
me
question.
feel some type of way.
Yeah, where it's like, it's not even a bad thing.
Yeah, it just like, I don't like how that sounded coming out of your man mouth.
All right, we're gonna get into 21, but I gotta take a shot at Mace real quick, man. Mace has been being real disrespectful to an NBA legend, Wade.
Mm-hmm.
He made some comments about, fingernail paint. Comments about,
why are you looking at another man's fingers unless you want them in your booty hole?
No, he's just made a lot of comments about that.
That's all I want to know.
Alluded to some things about D-Wade's lifestyle, and people have had criticisms about his parenting and whatnot. But Mace, sir, you cannot talk until you explain who that man was in the car in Atlanta. Pimp C told us.
The random man in Atlanta.
They told us. We need to know. We need you to verify. We know you were a pastor, but we know Atlanta pastors can be a little weird. Did you ever get swallowed up?
Have you ever been swallowed?
Talk about it.
Swallowed.
You can't talk about any man's sexuality until you explain who that man was in the car.
We need to make our own soundboard, and swallowed needs to be one of the sounds.
I've been working on that. We're gonna get that together. There's also like a Dame Dash thing that he said about Fat Joe that I want to put on the board, where he was like, "That's just not how I do business." That's just not how I do business. I want that on the soundboard. But all right, let's get into this 21 Savage Club Shay Shay interview. So shout out to Club Shay Shay. You've been knocking it out the park.
Club Shay Shay has been putting out some good stuff. I watched
ever since you got the fireplace. His shit been went up.
Okay, so listen, I don't want y'all to think that we try to to copy Club Shay Shay, because we are eventually in the next couple weeks going to revamp our set. We're gonna have a couple different sets. Two of the sets actually are going to include fireplaces. That's just us. That's not us trying to bite,
trying to jack his stilo. But no, it's since that's happened. That's because that's when Steve Harvey came, when he got the fireplace. I was doing my little due diligence through his little track record, because it first started with him
and
talking
the brown
to
couches.
Yeah, it first started with him.
It looks like a bourbon room. It looks very like man cave.
It started out with him doing video chats, because it happened during the pandemic, and then he started doing it in person, and then this is when the set happened.
So those video chats that I saw with him and
there's a lot of different people.
Ocho Cinco?
No, that's his new show.
Okay. They're funny together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's what I said. That's why
Ocho Cinco was like cognac.
That's why I had to give a shout out to Shannon. I seen a lot of people hating on you, Shannon, because you are doing a partnership with The Volume, and that's another white man, Colin Cowherd's show.
Mm-hmm.
And shout out to him, because he is the black man's Kelsey Grammer. He is. He knows black men. If you look at he got a whole bunch of black people on his network, and they are doing good content.
Okay, good.
But I seen a lot of people hating on Shannon. But Shannon, I know I called you a check nigga before. I don't believe you are anymore. I hope not. Hope you are a nigga working in big business. But shout out to you and what you're doing. But this 21 Savage interview was pretty interesting. I learned a lot about him. He did talk about some things that he had talked about before, like in his Breakfast Club interview.
Mm-hmm.
So the big takeaway was he said he felt like broke parents were better than rich parents, and it just came down to time.
Okay.
Why. And
it depends on how broke though.
No, I hate when people say that because
broke people don't be having time either. I had broke immigrant parents and they had nothing. All of their time had to be spent making money.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I wanted to lead to, was like I don't like that point that he was saying, because it really misconstrues what's important. And what's important is, yes, you do need finances, but you need to have enough resources while also being able to have time to be with your kids.
Yeah.
Like we were talking about this in our group chat, kind of trying to explain to the guys in the group chat that don't have kids what's going on. And they were saying like these different little comebacks, and I had to stop them and say, bro, you're thinking about this entirely too business related. You're trying to think of it like a CEO, and I'm telling you, you got to think about this like what's better for your worker and humanity. And what's better for your worker humanity is that my homeboy that was talking about it gets paid the same amount he's getting paid by work and still work less, so that he can be around his kids and be around his family. Like that's what's important. That's the thing I was talking about prior, was like we aren't conducive to parenting. Like it shouldn't be a reason why someone is a parent and still have to work 40 hours a week.
No. Yeah.
Like
those
two things, like
my worst nightmare.
You're doing a you're disenfranchising of people when you do that. Like you're doing people a disservice when you do that, because now they can't focus on being with the kid, and now they have to take certain setbacks to either are we going to provide or am I going to be a ever present force? And it kind of even comes into some criticism with his father, which was kind of tough for me. He was saying like his dad was in the UK and he didn't really see him much growing up because of, just the difference, the whole being all the way across the ocean.
Yeah.
So I can only imagine trying to parent across a whole Atlantic Ocean. That's tough.
You can't. If you're in a different country, you can't parent. There's only so much you can try to do a couple calls, give them a couple lessons, but like I'm not about to listen to you, nigga. You live across the ocean.
Like I felt like it was so weird because he didn't have a lot of grace for him, and he even talked about some of the shortcomings in his fathering, his fatherhood, because of his business and what he's doing. So like I just didn't really get it, and I ended up watching an interview with RMT. Mm-hmm. So it's like a UK podcast that his dad did an interview with, and he kind of talked about what was going on between, and like it was really crazy. So he said he met 21's mom, right, when they was in UK at a party, and apparently she's Muslim, but like she's not like the run-of-the-mill Muslim. She's like a black supremacist Muslim.
Okay.
So she's like one of the ones that like think like that the white people were made in tubes and all that stuff, like as a byproduct of black science, like that kind.
Oh,
like
wow.
White people the devil kind of shit.
Oh, okay.
That's what he said. This is what he said. I don't know if she felt like that moving forward, but that's what he said. And while they were dating, she was discussing moving to America. And then she got pregnant and she still wanted to go to America. And she wanted him to abandon his family. He wasn't with that. So that's what kind of broke them up, even though she was pregnant. So when he's like 5 or 6, that's when they moved to America. And he basically says that just put a complete strain on their relationship because they didn't have a clear communication. They had issues going on because of her moving and stuff like that. And so a lot of the problems that probably stem from him and the mom affected him in 21's relationship, because she told him that, this is what he said, of course. He said that every 6 months he was supposed to come back to America. I mean, to the UK. And that didn't happen. Like after he turned like 7 or something.
Mm-hmm.
And there was just a lot of different conflicts. And I understand what a lot of people were saying with him, was like, bro, why didn't you make an initiative? But it's like, if you're all the way across the world and you and me aren't having clear communication from a long period of time, I'm going in blind. Regardless, if he just was to fly to Atlanta and try to find him at any point, like he's going in blind. He doesn't really know she could at that particular time. And again, as somebody who's experienced different things like this, like you could literally go up, call the person, say, hey, I'm on my way up there. Can we coordinate something? And then no, it doesn't happen. So you've spent 12 hours in a car to not see anybody. Like I've known that to happen. So I can only imagine if I have to travel 7 hours on a plane and I don't have nothing clear. I can imagine just different conversations, like not being, we could be talking for 2 or 3 months and then something happens and now we don't talk for 6 weeks. And then we talk again for 2 more weeks. And then like it just stuff happens. And he said, hey, I tried my end. I had money to try to get him to travel and things of that nature, but me and his mom could never get on the same page with things. And I don't know. I just feel like dads in that instance, they get such a hard rap. Like when you don't appease to the mom, especially early on, you just get shitted on for anything. Like unless you was like Superman, you just get shitted on everything. Did you have anything that you wanted to add about 21 Savage and his relationship in that manner? I mean, you've experienced that before, having a distance.
Yeah, I didn't really put it against my father having that distance though, because first of all, I was only 7 when we reunited, so most of my childhood I didn't even remember him being gone. It wasn't until like years and years into the future when my mom gave me different information that I was like, but like in the moment, I didn't resent him in any way, shape, or form. Being that he experienced this for way longer than I experienced this, I don't know how I would have felt, because you do eventually start to resent your parents regardless of like the situation. It's like, but this happened to me still. But this is still the bed that I had to lay in, regardless of whoever made the bed. I didn't make the bed. I was a child. I didn't ask for this bed. So this is the bed that I was laying in, and it sucked. So he gets to complain about it. And then I do think he should give his father grace. Immigration, things of that nature.
But this wasn't his dad, not an immigrant. His dad lived in the UK. His
No,
mom moved
but
on.
like going back and forth, and that's complicated. It's financially straining when you don't have a good relationship with the other parent. It's even muggier. So I didn't watch the interview, but if he didn't give his father any grace at all, I feel like that's not great.
He gave him what I feel like he thought was enough grace, because he was saying he didn't want to be disrespectful. He did mention that, like he didn't want to be disrespectful. He didn't want to talk out of turn. It's just, I guess in my mind.
But I feel like if that's the case, he still experienced that.
Yeah,
so that's still
he spoke to that.
Yeah, that regardless of the why, his dad wasn't there.
My thing is like this, like, so I think about it how with me. So I grew up with my pops, right? But most of our time was only really spent in the morning because he worked pretty much afternoon to the night. So I was kind of like how 21 said. 21 said he used to see his dad on the week every other weekend and would spend time with him, and he would be with that family. And then when I got older and I moved to Georgia, I didn't get to see my pops as much because he still had to finish his work requirements so that he could max out his retirement with his company. So it was like 4 years that I wasn't with my pops and all that. But I sit back and I think about, at that time, did I feel certain things? Because I wanted my pops at my basketball games. I wanted my dad to be somewhere I would see him on a daily. But when I go back and think of it as a grown man and look at the things that he did in those 4 years that benefited me in the long run, my mind frame changes to that criticism. Because I remember literally telling my pops, like, oh man, I was upset that you wasn't there around for high school like that. And then I had to come back and tell him, like, I'm sorry that I said that, because that's not true. Because I'm gonna be honest, the things that my dad provided for me, material wise and also just like life wise, was way more valuable than him just being there.
That's crazy. I feel like
no, talk to that. How's that crazy?
You just said that the material things your father provided for you was more valuable than him being around you. Like that could be taken as fucking crazy.
I don't see that because
you had nice sneakers and stuff. Like you would prefer that over like your dad at your games.
I would prefer.
If you had the choice.
The thing is, the games wouldn't have been able to happen if my dad and parents didn't have money, because you had to pay to play sports. You need shoes. You need all this other stuff. I had to work. I wasn't the most athletic kid, so I had to have trainers and workouts and stuff like that. It wasn't
I think you're thinking about it from your
No, I'm thinking-
perspective.
Yeah, well, that's
specifically.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
why. That's why it was my opinion on what I was talking about. My things I understand when I sit back and look at things as a grown man now, I can change my perspective on what I thought. Because as a kid, yeah,
It's the opposite for me.
I mean, as a kid, I thought, yeah, it would be cool to have my dad be there because I was looking at above the rim. And above the rim, he's working out with his son every day. But you know what I forgot? That nigga was poor as fuck. That nigga above the rim lived in an apartment with his family. You know what? I lived in a 5-bedroom house every time I had a home. So I'm not going to sit here and tell my dad the time that you spent away from me was not worth it when you gave me an amazing production for that.
It's a complete opposite for me. When I look back and I look at everything when I am in my adulthood, I'm like, you like I didn't resent him in the moment, and then when I got more information, I've gone past it now. I don't resent him anymore. But like when I got more information in my early adulthood, like I did. And then at the same time, now looking back on it, like my parents weren't well-to-do or anything like that. We weren't super rich, but my dad, I was with him all the time. Like I was glued to my dad's hip. He would take me everywhere with him. We lived in a little basement. We never had like I always wanted for things.
So that's what I was
and
gonna
now
ask you.
looking back on it, like no, I wouldn't have preferred wanting those things. The time that I spent with my father made me who I am today. Like formed my interests, formed my opinions, formed the way I articulate myself.
Well, then I would say,
And that time was like I wouldn't have traded it for like
but then I wouldn't say that you have
for like
resentment
baby
for that
fat
then.
jackets.
But I'm saying, but you
No,
would say
when
you
I said when I look back on
Oh,
it now.
you say
when
you look at it now, you have resentment.
No,
Oh.
so that part of it. Well, the part about my dad not being in Haiti with me when I was growing up, like I didn't resent that when I was growing up. When I learned more details about everything later, I don't now. There was a little middle resentment sliver.
So I guess what you're saying is kind of like what I'm saying. Like as you got older, when you looked at everything in its full perspective.
I'm saying it's the opposite for me because my dad was always there and we didn't have money. Yeah. Okay, so I wasn't saying what you were saying. I was saying the complete opposite because
You just say you don't resent him, right?
I was saying that I would have I would not have preferred if my father was there less and we had more money and he was providing more money for us with and had less time for me. I wouldn't have preferred that.
I mean, it's debatable.
Because the time that I spent with him was so formative for me that I wouldn't have, like the stuff that I got would not have been more valuable than the time that I spent with him.
No, I and again with me and my pops, most of that happened later on, like again for the 4 years I was in high school. But to me, I understand the valuable nature of it because again, it would just be a lot of things that wouldn't be accessible, and unfortunately, sacrifice is a part of the process.
Mm-hmm.
Like
100%.
You're not going to be able to do and have it the way that you want. If you have the time for the kid, most likely you're not going to have the money for the things that they need. It's just a give and take.
Yeah.
So I would rather just again the life that I experienced. I can tell just by the people that I know, the people that I've spoke with, that they've never had anything similar to it. That it's a fortunate thing, and like I'm not going to speak against it when I know what it takes, like to get to that. So that's the only thing about it.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I was going to ask you like if the outcome was different, would you have a different feeling? But since you say there isn't any resentment anymore,
No.
it isn't. But
because both of my parents are amazing people who worked their hardest and cared for me as much as they could to get me in the best position as they could. They made a couple slip-ups along the way because they're human. The slip-ups I held on to for a little bit, and then I grew up, and then I realized they were human, then I let them go.
I mean, and I think that's where I think we kind of come into the same understanding where it's like this was for the best you could do, and
You were trying your hardest the entire time, whole time, and that's what matters at the end of the day.
Yeah. So like I said, I didn't feel. I feel. I hope that him and 21, if they haven't
Reconciled.
Yeah, reconcile. I hope they can definitely do that because it's tough, man. Like especially nigga was in the post office, yo. Like that shit. That's not big money. Especially in the UK, it ain't that much land. Ain't much that land to post. It ain't. You know what I'm saying? I mean, mailboxes in the UK.
I don't know.
You know, it's crazy.
That's a random ass question.
Crazy as fuck. All right, let's wrap it. Is anything else we wanted to end before we let this go?
No.
All right, just want to let y'all know life is a labor of love. So let's keep building these moments together. And remember, your job is not your family. And the only thing you should be exploiting is these corporations. Talk FNF TV.
Woo.
We here. We out of here. Like, follow, subscribe. And we'll be back next week.
Bye. I made it.